Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of my Minecraft Java single player Let's Play series. And you may notice something different. Um I have the migrated cape because between episodes and streams and everything, on the day of me recording this, I actually got to do the migration. So, between streams even, I have gone ahead and I think it's this chest. Yeah, I've gotten a bunch of turtle eggs. I also have the turtle helmets and started a creeper farm. And I also showed it on stream, but not in video yet. I had originally intended to build the prototype in my creative world, test world on stream, but the power kept going out. And this is my mob switch. Ah! And I fell off again. Also, I'm experimenting a little bit with the audio. I've got my air conditioner turned off. But basically, one of the things that I've found messing with the mob switch stuff is that if the shulkers are in minecarts, they do not count towards the hostile mob count. So you have to get them out. And I did actually make some replay footage, but I go into replay to do the footage thing. I actually did the recording before migrating my account, so it might have something to do with that. But it doesn't ever load the chunks at any point. So there's no blocks or anything other than the clouds. And so I thought, well, you could build it again in your creative test world, but you've already got an example version over there. So I was thinking, let's hop over to my first world and build it in creative there. That should give me a few different clips here. And I can tell you my thought process on the whole thing. Be right back. This world's having a little bit of trouble loading. The last version I actually loaded it in was 1.16.5. But yeah, this is my first world. Let's get started with some supplies here. Since we're in creative, we don't really need to worry about that. And the only reason to build it in creative is so that it goes faster. But the first thing for this particular design is to find the spawn chunks, which is what that mod is for, that I just hit B on. And one of the things you have to keep in mind is you need them to be high up enough and away from everything so that your shulkers don't attach to anything. And I think that is where I need them to be in when it's on. It's the chunk just outside of this chunk. So over here, looks like a good area to do this. The actual height is completely arbitrary. But I wanted to make sure that the shulkers would never leave the chunk loader. So there's that part done. And there goes the loud vehicle. Because, you know, this is a quiet neighborhood, so therefore nobody cares how loud you are. That's how that works, right? Anyways, there will be some cutting eventually. I just haven't got to it yet. But we're going to need powered rails, regular rail, activator rail, and then the redstone tab, repeaters, redstone dust, and levers. And also some buttons for a couple of blocks. As well as, in my case, I used some honey blocks. Should not need that. And it's getting to be nighttime. I butt it right up against the edge here, personally. And then I need the 10 by 7 in my case. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and build this platform out. And I'll be right back. In this particular case, I will need to go a bit wider because I want to put the rails in, and it's every other block. So you get like 7 there, and then 7, and that's another 14, so 21. And this is not quite enough space for all of them. 14, 21, and then 21 again. No. 14, 28, and 21. So that'd be 49. But I'll need at least one more row here for one more section of track. And there goes some dump trucks. They're an hour late. Yep. But altogether, you basically need 10 rows of 7 here. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. And then I like to keep it in one chunk. 9. And then this would be 10, except for it's close to where I had it. 2, 4, 6, 8. And then I need 2 more rows, one for a rail and one for that. For the track. Because you want it to make sure that your shulkers actually have somewhere to go after they're ejected. And one of the things is that the rails that have them that they're sitting on are up here. Actually, I think I put it up one higher. Up here. And they teleport down to those ones. So, up here, though, you don't really need it to be fully solid. It just needs to have the rails going across. And then something similar down below. This isn't perfectly how I've got it in that world. I think I ran the platform the other way. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Thank you, Vein Miner. Let's start over. Scratch that. Alright, starting over. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then put a track in the middle. One there. 2, 4, 6. Track. And then same thing on that side, I think. 2, 4, 6, 7. Because I think I only have 4 tracks on there. Anyways, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Fill this in. It's not actually exactly tutorial, but it's mostly to show my thought processes. Actually, I have a building one too available. This will speed up the process a little bit after I row column. That should help a little. And then you want your tracks to run lengthwise along here. The whole point is to have 70 spaces available for the shulkers to be able to teleport to, because of them not being able to be in minecarts. And then what I did was I went through the full next chunk and then set them on the other chunk behind it, because I want to make sure they're far enough away that they won't teleport from over here to over there when they get out of the minecarts. And I'm going to get this in and then I'll be right back. Alright, so I've got it all the way out to this end, and part of my thought process here is to put a gap there. And if I remember right, there's only one piece of track, another gap, and then the activator rails. And then it's, I believe I had another gap here, and then it's just solid powered rails the rest of the way. If I remember correctly. Just because I had the resources to do it, so I did. I think this might actually extend further than the one in my LP world does, but... And I'm okay with building it here because of the fact that this is actually a world that I had planned on putting one of these in anyways. I just Reenactment, not very well. I'm not a good actor. I'm not practiced in the arts of acting technique and all of that stuff, so. One other thing that you'll need to do is power all these, and I forgot to grab out my iron blocks because I put iron blocks on all these. No, not there. There. And then the bottom row here, I just put levers on the ends of the tracks like so. And then as you go along, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nope, not there. As you go along, you do put a lever there to power this section, and then I think this is going to need at least one more. Yeah, at the other end of the chunk. For it to power this all the way across. Let's see, and it does go over one more block because there's also glass panes in my design. It's surrounded by glass panes, so yeah, that should be okay. Over here, now with the activator rails, one of the problems that I'd run across is that what'll happen is sometimes they take a while to teleport. And so I went ahead and put in buttons in a block on the other side. That way they can be dumped out on either side of the track, but they'll still have somewhere to go, and it's not a valid block that they can stay on, so they teleport away. And that gets powered differently, and there goes another dump truck. I do apologize for the noise. Normally it's very quiet here, but like I said, the guys are an hour late. And then for these, because it's set a little bit differently at this end, you do need to have somewhere where you can make the minecarts stop at. So what I did is I did something like this to have some redstone going. And then I put repeaters into here, and I used the end with the activator rail to store the minecart. That way nothing is actually sitting in the minecart. And then I think I just stuck the lever off to the side. But now the minecart should sit in all those places. And we're about ready to start on the next layer. So the next layer, I actually put it, I think on that block, or it might be the one below. I can't remember exactly, but it's the same process, just reversed, and I'll bring you guys back in when I have the next layer on. Alright, so I have the next layer in, and the clouds are making it a little difficult to see, but we'll work with it. So the biggest difference between this layer and the one below is that this one, there's no slab underneath the iron blocks, because the next step is actually to put in the glass that goes around this thing. And the glass actually sticks out a further, in this case, it goes out one more block. And it goes all the way up, and it goes a couple of layers above it. The other thing that needs to be done is to put the honey blocks in. And I was messing around in the creative test world, and I found that they don't teleport or stick to the honey blocks at all. They will, however, stick and teleport to the cell sand blocks, specifically to the bottom of it. And then you go to there because that's where the glass actually ends. But basically, fill in not both layers, just the bottom layer in this case, because the top layer doesn't matter. Then the main point behind using the honey blocks is to break line of sight, so that way I can, because it does take a couple of minutes to switch over between deactivating all spawning and not deactivating all spawning, which means that there's a little bit of time in there where they might be able to see you, and I really want them to not see me at all. And then it should come around like this. And then I'm going to get all of this part in, and I'll be right back. Alright, in my case, I'm almost finished, and basically the only other step to do that I was instead of using this slab roof, which would require you to button it on one side or the other, I went with honey blocks, which are not compatible with this particular wand. But this isn't the final thing. I won't completely reenact all of every step here, but after I filled this in and when I moved my shulkers in, I had to do a special bridge thingy and move them out because they were all in minecarts. And one of the things that I did is I took out one of the middle rails here, the end block, and replaced it with a minecart. And actually, this is fewer tracks than is in that world, but whatever. I replaced it with a cactus and just ran them into it. This world has that problem too, where I've got the iron farm that just outputs a gajillion things of iron. And I'm going to get this roof on, and then I'll be back in a little bit after I'm done. Not a whole lot left here. Basically, the reason why I have the minecarts stationed at this end is so that they're not on top of the shulkers all the time. So basically, they go there, 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 and there. And I know it's getting dark. Happened to finish my other part when the sun was going down. And then the same thing on that end. And then, however you want to do it, in this case, since I'm just creativing it in, just use spawn eggs. But altogether, there should be room for 70 shulkers in here. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there should be 7 rows of them in here. And the way it's set up, once they're all in, nothing else will spawn. I know the usual recommended from professionals like Il Mango and whatnot would be something like 100 of them. Technically, he'll teleport here in a sec. There he goes. Technically, 70 is how many the mob cap is overall. But once you got them in there, you got them in there. For the little details, there's how you find the chunks to put it in. I'm using utility, the Bounding Box Outline Reloaded mod. It also highlights your spawn chunks, and there's a bunch of other information. There used to be information on villages too, but because of the 1.14 changes. Anyways, and then when you want to switch it back and forth, you got these levers over on that side, and you send the carts over, and it retrieves the shulkers, and then they get knocked out by the activator rail, and then they teleport to the platform on the other side. And it's done. I did it this way because it was just easiest to me to do it that way. Anything that they could teleport to, it has something on it to stop that, or is not a block they can teleport to. Honey blocks, they're not full blocks, so that means they don't teleport to it. Case in point, one of the things I discovered in the LP world is that you can actually land on that particular iron block if you want to. It looks like a full block, but it's not. Anyways, I think I'm going to cut out of here and then head back over to the LP world. Alright, now we're back in this world. Now, on my most recent stream, which I've actually canceled the Wednesday stream because of the boycott for Twitch, because of the hate raids. And then my Thursday stream has had to be canceled anyways for stuff beyond my control. I don't have that time block available this Thursday of me recording this. So I'm recording an episode instead. But anyways, the little bits that I did do, I did mark out, and I finally updated the map with the extra towers. It doesn't have the nice 45-degree angle I was hoping for, but I've got that in. Haven't really touched the storage system much because part of what I was working on is to get... well, the turtle eggs was another project as well, but I was kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone with that. I'll take you guys over there, and I'll see you in a sec. Alright, we're back over. I opted to do this all over near to the Ocean Monument Farm because it's in the middle of an ocean. So, but the thing I was working on is over here. this is a creeper only farm. Now, it's having a weird problem where the creepers will spawn in and it doesn't always activate. However, this is about 20 minutes of AFK time, and it's not finished either. So, the other thing was I was growing turtles for turtle eggs to make the gold farm. We're going to need gunpowder because I need a tree farm as well as a cobblestone farm and also a concrete converter. I was thinking when I get the blast chamber ready, and I don't know how I'm going to set that up or anything yet, but I'll need wood for pistons. I also need chests for hoppers, especially for the new storage room. You can see my Ocean Monument farm over there. If I were to turn it on, it won't do anything right now, or it wouldn't work very well, because mob cap's already occupied. Because I do have the switch in this world. Let's see. Need wood for chests for that, and then also pistons. Pistons take a lot of wood. I use a lot of wood. As I've been starting on this current project, I've realized I use a lot, and I mean a lot of wood. I don't know if I've ever actually mentioned on camera at any point, but I did actually... Let's go to the nether real quick. That's right. I don't know if I ever mentioned it on camera, but I have actually adjusted the size of the tunnels. I went and I did some research, and with it only being this wide, you can go ahead and have your tunnels be 3 blocks high, and then you can fly down them. Also, I do have a hole above the nether. Actually, there should be, I believe there's some shulker shells in the chest up there. For me personally, after I got the shulker farm built, I have AFK on the nether side, mostly so that I don't have issues with phantoms, because I don't want to risk it. I think I should be safe on the platform on the other side, but this is the nether side, and I just went hopper all the way down. And I think there's actually some inside the chests from when I was... a few. Just a few. From when I was getting the shulkers for the mob switch. And I can make more. I think if I were to do another one to increase the numbers because of issues with that not quite being enough, if that ever does become a problem, I think I'm going to build it a little bit closer. It'll still be that way a bit because we're kind of far from the spawn chunks this way to the west of it, but it should still work. It just means I'd have to go to 2 different locations to turn it on and off. Anyways, I'm going to cut here, and I'm not sure how long this episode actually is because I haven't put the footage into my editing software yet. Also, I think I'm just going to leave in the original footage from the first part of my reenactment. It gives it a unique charm, I think. Anyways, I'll be back. So it turns out my little reenactment ended up being a bit longer than I was hoping for, so I'm going to have to call the episode here, unfortunately. But it should also serve as a basic guide on building your own if you ever want to. Your own mob switch. I think it's going to basically be more or less the title of the videos that I finally got the mob switch finished. And so, with that, I do hope you enjoyed it, even though it wasn't super action heavy, more tutorial-y. It's not really my area of strength. But anyways, I do hope you enjoyed it anyways. If you did, do be sure to hit that like button, and if you really enjoyed it, do be sure to subscribe. And also, I may as well plug it. I've been trying to keep a regular schedule on Twitch, streaming every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern. I believe that's at 6 Pacific, and I'm not sure on BST, though. I think it's like 5 in the afternoon, or maybe later. I can't remember exactly. I'm in UTC minus something. I want to say 5. But whatever that adds up to for your time stuff, do be sure to see me over there. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye bye.